Hey guys, we got first place deck profile here, Iblee Spright, featuring the new support from Darkwing Blast. I think this deck is very good until 2 weeks from now when we get the Ishizu cards that ruin the game. The deck played very good. The only thing I would really change about this was I would change 3 spells for Prosperities, I just don't own them. But other than that, I played this 2 weeks ago as well before Sprint, pretty much the same list, minus Angler obviously, and it won the OTS Championship. And yeah, we're just gonna go and get into it. So for the main, for the Sprite cards, I got 3 blue, 3 jet, 1 red, 1 carrot, 1 pixies for the Sprite monsters. These are all pretty standard. Pixies has become a lot more important nowadays, just due to the games becoming so grindy. In hindsight though, I probably would cut this for the second red, just because it didn't come up enough for me, but I liked it. And then for the spells for this week, we played 3 starter, the smashers, and the double cross. Double cross is nuts when you pair it with Iblee, which I am playing. It makes their boards much worse, and sometimes they just can't play out of it. And then cross on its own is also just not a bad card. Pretty much any hand where you can summon Iblee, I got double cross. I played 3 beaver, 1 angler for the sprint play. I like playing the third beaver because it gives you the grind game factor. If you weren't able to successfully make Toad, which you'll see in the next set of monsters are like my gigantic targets to summon, you're not always guaranteed Toad, and I like having an extra follow-up. So for the cards that gigantic summons, it's going to be the frogs, the Iperia, and the Iblee. This particular weekend, I never resolved Iperia, but it's still just too good to not run for the grind. The swap frogs, you only need to play 2 because Ronan's banned. And then Iblee is crazy. The fact that you can make Iblee pass it to your opponent, make an IP, and then when you use the IP and link this back off when you revive it off Elf, it's like you have to out it twice, so like the battle phase isn't enough. And then like I stated before, when they try to like make a link 2, you can double cross their monster, they normal summon, attach it, and when they go to attack, then you can just IP it. The going second cards I played, starting with just 3 talents. I do wish these were Prosperities. I'm just a bum and haven't ordered them yet, and that's the only reason these are in here over Prosperity. Those will probably be something to order in the future very soon, because every single time I saw this card today, I wished it was Prosperity. There's just no substitute for it. And then for the hand traps, I'm on hand traps over board breakers because I feel like going first, these just make your hand so much better because you get access to your full board plus these, and none of these like contribute to bad hands except if you open too many. So I played 3 Ash and 3 DD Crow, and then I also played 9 Imperms with 3 Veiler, 3 Mourner, and then 3 Imperm. On-board effect negation is so important that you have to play as many as you can effectively, and this card also helps in time when you're also playing Dogwood, which I am. So this gave me the most like reach, and I felt like these 9 were just the best. I wish I played Nibiru, but I didn't, because I just couldn't find room in the main. This is 40 cards, and then I couldn't find room in this side for it. So these would be a lot better with Nib, but I didn't play Nib, but none of these like underperformed. And then for the extra inside, we're still on the 3 Elf. In hindsight, I'm going to cut this to 2 because the third one never comes up anymore because of Sprint. But this is the first week of the tournament of the cards being legal, so yeah. 2 Gigantics still. In this version, you still play 2. Next week we're playing Tri-Brigade. This will be a 1 of. Then the 1 Sprint, the card that makes the deck work now. Pretty much every game I made this card, and I only drew Angler once. And this gets even more utility when you add the Tri-Brigade cards. For the Xyz, I got whatever this thing's called, Toad, and then the Zeus line. These are getting cut indefinitely. Never made it except for one particular matchup, and it was just because he played so many Floodgates. I will never play this again. Then you got IP, Phoenix, sorry, Dark, and then Zeroboros for the rest of the extra deck. The Zeus package allows you to cut 3 cards and just make a better Link package, because like these cards, the problem with the IP I had all day today was I had nothing really to make when I linked it off with the Iblee, except for making like a second elf, and that just sucked. So a lot of times I was just making Nightmare Phoenix just because I needed a generic 2. Then for the side, I played 3 Droll for the Runic matchup. That's it. Nothing else. 3 Dogwood and Red Resonator. This is the time package, so you don't lose in time. This is very good against Tier Limit and some other combo decks. This is basically maxi when time is at like 7 or 8 minutes. And then obviously this card's cracked. Summoning it off Gigantic to gain all the life points is pretty good. Played 3 Cosmic and Duster for back row hate. Really don't know what else to say. I would probably play evenly going forward, but I just kind of threw this together as I usually always do. 3 Barrier, my only going first card other than Dimensional Fissure. Decided to play this because there are certain game states where Toad is just so like unoptimal, and you can control the game with Sprend. So like you can have your board set up to be Sprend with these 2 on the field with like XC materials, and then you can just detach them to bounce whenever they summon something. And with Double Cross, you can just continually reattach materials. And there was one time, I didn't do this today, but I did it online, where I attacked with these, made Zeus, and then never used Zeus effect. It just used a sprint to like keep bouncing their cards when they summoned. But D-Fissure lets you open up a new type of game plan against tier. I kind of wish I just played Shifter and found room, but finding room for this deck is impossible sometimes, and I think that's its only flaw. But that's it for the deck. Like I said, won today's tournament with it, and we'll be having a regional at my locals of the Four Horsemen in Morgantown on November 5th, so come down for that. We'll also be doing an OTS championship 2 weeks after that. So yeah, expect more content in the coming days as we lead up for that. Thanks for watching. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe.